Now for this budget build, it's really quite simple. Just get yourself a Heart of the Oak, and you don't get your hands on a Harlequin's Crest. Like, you can find this just from Andariel. An Enigma, it's only 2 high runes. And make sure you get yourself a good call to arms. If it's anything under like 5 battle orders, just go ahead and throw it out and try to get another one, because you need at least 5 or 6 to really help you out.
What?
All right, of course I'm exaggerating here, but does it ever seem like budget build guides actually have items that you can't even get yourself? Maybe through enough playing you can, but if your build can't actually kill things, how are you ever going to go out and find that stuff? If this is you, you got your eyeballs right here on the right video, because I'm coming at you with the 5 builds in Diablo 2 Resurrected that take essentially no gear at all, and you can get out there and farm up even better gear options. I use essentially the same gear for all the builds I show in this video, but I will go over any time that pieces of gear do change, because sometimes you kind of need to. And this gear is so budget, you can get all of this stuff pretty much at the beginning of Nightmare. I'm gonna go super quick, and there's obviously other options. Use the best thing you can get your hands on. I got a spirit sword here, rocking a lore up on the helmet. Just got a rhyme shield over here. Of course, get a spirit when you can. Still rocking a stealth armor right here. As for the amulet and belt, I have both a caster amulet, just crafted one, threw it on. And then I have a caster belt, just crafted one and throw it on. This is probably your best options at this point if you can get yourself a couple of perfect amethysts. Now for the boots and gloves, you're probably going to be using the best rare or magic pieces that you can get down here. Maybe something like this, or over here, you can just shop different types of gloves and boots from vendors that either have like 30, 35 res of whatever you need. You need some faster walk run stuff right there. And then for rings, obviously use the best FCR rings you can find, get your hands on, whether it's just a blue magic one, or you can get some pretty good rare ones. This one's actually crazy. I gambled about 15 rings perhaps, and I got this one right here, and that's a real good one to get. Now over here, I usually use the Act 2 Cold Mercenary. The cold will keep your mercenary and yourself alive, with some rare exceptions. And then for the gear pieces, just make any insight, the best possible insight you can go ahead and make. It's usually the best option over here. A bulwark, if you can get yourself an IO rune, you can farm those up in Nightmare, no problem. And then for armor right here, I have a Grizz armor, if you can get your hands on one. If not, just grab a 3 or 4 socketed armor and stick in some of the runes you farmed from the Countess to get your cold, lighting, and fire res. Perhaps you even got another socket to help you out there. That way it'll cap out your mercenaries' resistances, and that's kind of a budget way to help keep them alive. It's not perfect, but it helped. Now I did say for most of the builds in this particular video, that's how the stuff's going to be, but if anything's different for one particular build, I will mention it. And actually for this particular one, number 1 on the list, we're actually going to use the Might Mercenary, because we're actually going to be rocking the Summon Necro. Now building a Summon Necro, you generally want to use these raised skeletons all the time. They can survive like mad, and they do put out a little bit of damage. So we maxed out raised skeleton, skeleton mastery. We came down to clay golem, blood golem, and iron golem, but super early on, I don't usually actually use iron golem. End game you do, so that's why we got the point down to it. But what I go ahead and do is actually use the clay golem, and just to have that, and I keep casting it over and over and over as it gets taken out. You don't want to use the end game version where you make an insight so you get the meditation aura, because it'll just keep dying and dying and dying when you're super budget, or it could anyways. But I go ahead and max out golem mastery, which will help out this clay golem now, but that's how you want to build it later with the iron golem. Of course, get 1 down to summon res, at least 1 down to that. And I like getting 1 down to revive too. Just under certain circumstances, I go ahead and revive up different monsters as well as needed. Over on the poison and bone, get the bone armor up, at least 1 point into it. You might as well for the survivability. And actually max out corpse explosion. Get as much radius as possible. It doesn't boost up the damage, but just get more radius. That way you melt the entire screen when possible. Over on the curses here, now I go ahead and go with the amp damage. That way the first body gets down faster. Then you can start corpse exploding. Bing, bang, boom. They all blow up. Any remaining points I go ahead and keep getting, I put more and more into amp damage, getting more and more and more radius, so you don't have to cast a whole bunch of times around. Right now these characters aren't max level or anything because it's budget, so the radius isn't huge, but as we get more levels it will get larger. We'll make use of this handy little trick and bring up our skeletons out here just before Pindle anyways. We'll go ahead and come out to a first area here, just out at Eldritch, and see there's where you can utilize the teleport. Go ahead and drop down the amp damage, get a body down, and then you can start corpse exploding. We got 1, boom, boom. So you have to explode a couple corpses, but hey, look at how that took out that pack, and then you're on your way farming here. Well, let's go ahead and try a little bit harder area here. We're at the Chaos Sanctuary. So amp damage up, and the radius is so small, it's kind of annoying, but get down a body, corpse explode, and yeah, we're here with this gear right now, going in the Chaos Sanctuary by ourselves right here, having kind of no problem. Make sure you get amp damage on these guys. Start corpse floating a little bit. Bring up some more skellies. Looks like we can only have 9, so but make sure we get the amp damage. And man, I wish we had more radius, but as we get moving here, we will continue to get more radius on this build. Well, I think we kind of proved our point here, but where else could you farm with this? Really, you can go to a lot of places, whether like I did Eldritch Shank here, we're out in the Chaos Sanctuary, really. You can do this in the pits. This is one of those builds, actually. Even though you're not going up to like players 8 difficulty, you can take it just about everywhere, actually. So a really great build I love. Probably my favorite Necromancer when you're early on, super early on in the mega budget category. Next up on the list at number 2 is going to be no surprise to anyone, and we're taking a look at the mega budget, insanely budget Lightning Fury Javazan. Now this is going to differ in some incredibly obvious ways. Of course you need javelins instead of that spirit sword, right? So I went ahead and just shopped these from Mala. Literally walked over to Mala one time. Hey, 30 increased attack speed? Sure, I'll buy those. Or maybe if you want to, you go ahead and buy some that had 2 to Amazon skills or 2 to the javelin and spear skills, but I prefer the increased attack speed personally. Besides that, I have almost all the exact same gear. It's kind of convenient that the FCR ring I had before actually has the life leech on it. Now, one thing I would change, and I couldn't find one, I gambled a bunch of rings, couldn't get one that had mana leech. If I could get a mana leech ring and a life leech ring, primo right there. Maybe you can get some gloves or something, but you can go ahead and shop gloves like this. I went ahead and gambled a few sets of gloves and boom, got some javelin and spear skills. Or you can shop jav gloves from Charcy, even getting incredibly godly ones that are 3 to javelin and spears with 20 increased attack speed. That could take you hours and hours and hours to shop. This took me no time at all. Another thing I might switch up if you needed to, you don't need the FCR for essentially anything. Maybe the teleport speed on the tele staff we have on swap. You could make yourself a blood belt just to get something to help you out there, or shop or find something, a rare one maybe. And on the amulet too, maybe make a blood amulet if you wanted to. Go ahead and get some things to help you out for melee characters, or get some life, get some strength, or whatever you end up getting on that. As from the skill tree, what do you do? It's super easy, just like any Lightning Fury Javazan. Max out Lightning Fury and as many of the synergies as you can. So that's what I went ahead and do. Charge Strike is another one you use on individual targets, so this is going to be the first synergy you want to go ahead and max out. And then go ahead and just go, you got Lightning Bolt, you got Power Strike, you got Lightning Strike right there. So go ahead and put a bunch of points into those. Now, as for other points, there's these 6 1-point wonders here I'd recommend you do. You get 1 point into Crit Strike, Penetrate, Pierce is very important. And then 1 point down the middle. These used to be broken, but they are no longer. So you can go ahead and put 1 point into Dip, Dodge, Duck, Dip, and Dive. And then you can see just up over my head here, this is where we're going with the cold one instead of the might one that you use on your summon necro, because you want the might to deal the extra damage from all your summons to get the body down to corpse explode, but it doesn't matter on this one. We'll use the cold to keep our mercenary alive out in a very dangerous place, but very fruitful, the cow level. I will go ahead and show this to you, how good it works against cows. Just round up a little pack here and throw and throw and throw. And yeah, you can see they kind of go down. You can even get up here and Charge Strike. Merc's getting hit up pretty good. And then you can go ahead and, I didn't have teleport set up. Unfortunately, you want to have your tele staff ready to rock. Of course, I came across a champion pack that cursed us and amped us up instantly. That's typical Phil maneuver right there. But let's go ahead and round up another pack here, maybe that isn't going to amp up our mercenary and instantly take him out. This is looking pretty good. We got cows in front of us and behind us, but that's okay. So go ahead and make sure you utilize the teleport staff like that. But you see, the Lightning Fury Javazan's power is pretty dang good. It's pretty dang good. Don't remember, you got to use potions once in a while. Utilize the tele staff to keep him alive. But yeah, here we are ripping the cows down. Then you can get up and just Charge Strike. Yeah, Charge Strike right here. Those guys right down. Ooh, Ogre Axe. But here's one cow. You can see the Charge Strike, what it does against single targets. Really works pretty good. And we have no gear on at all. It's kind of pretty crazy, to be perfectly honest. Out here at cows, you're looking for rune word bases. Is this not 4 sockets, unfortunately. And all kinds of other things. Cows is known for high runes and stuff like that. Stuff that you can trade. So go ahead and get even better gear for your character. Next up is no surprise to anyone when you see the Sorceress standing here, and we're talking about an absolute classic to start ladder with, the Blizzard Sorceress. This gear setup's exactly the same as what we showed on the Necromancer and what we said we were going to use on pretty much all of the builds right here. Really no difference at all. As for the skill tree, obviously we're doing Blizzard Sorceress, so we're maxing out Blizzard and as many of the synergies as we can. So we got Glacial Spike, which I actually use to completely freeze some monsters in their tracks occasionally, but on single targets, usually we use Ice Blast because it actually does quite a bit of damage right there. Put a few remaining points here up into Ice Bolt. It is another synergy. We actually, and on the mega budget, This might be controversial, I don't know, but when you're mega budget, I put all my points into Cold Mastery to lower their res so much because you have no plus skills to really help you out, very few anyways. So this would require a respec later once you get the best gear you can. I do get the 1-point wonders, of course, frozen armor. We get, of course, telekinesis, teleport, and static, and 1 point over here into warmth. First place to use this is great, of course, down here at Andariel. Forgot her name for a second. Jeez, come on, Phil. But we're going to go ahead and clear some of this up. We're not going to play it exactly the way you would if you had a crazy, insane build endgame, because we want to stay a little bit safer here. So our mercenary, we want to watch out, probably going to get taken out by poison, and it might be a struggle to go ahead and keep your mercenary there alive. But we're dropping blizzards. You could go ahead up there and go ahead and static if you want, but sometimes it's just too dangerous. Better just to stand back and shoot. You're hoping for the Shakos. You're hoping for the essences online. You can trade those up, get some tokens to do that respec, like I said later. Tons of great stuff you can get from Andariel. Another option, of course, we're moat tricking Mephisto. Well, you pretty much just lure Mephisto over here. Most people will know about this. And now he can't attack you, but you go ahead and drop blizzards on his head until he's gone. You literally don't need any gear to do this. You got a pretty good blizzard. It's not even gonna take that long either. Down he goes. Can drop all kinds of great stuff. Didn't get it this time, but you definitely can. You may have noticed I had no mercenary when moat tricking. Just don't bring your mercenary along with you. Just chug potions the whole way. He'll just get taken out. Definitely other places that are great for cold, the ancient tunnels. It is of course great because there are no inherent cold immunes down here, and it's an 85 area, so you can find every single unique item in the entire game. That's of course if you get lucky. You're not going to find one every run or anything like that, but you absolutely can from these guys right here. These unique monsters, you could get lucky and get one. Once again, another place in Act 2 that's good for cold builds, the Stony Tombs. Just like it, there are no inherent cold immunes, with the exception of the creeping feature, but you can just go ahead and skip him. Sometimes they can roll like this one right here with cold immunity, but hey, your mercenary can go ahead and take him out, huh? And then you can go ahead and rip everything else, but usually, most all the time, nothing is usually cold immune down here. And once again, it is an 85 area, just like the Stony Tombs, or just like the Ancient Tunnels, excuse me, where you can find every single unique item in the game. Now you might be confused, but we're actually taking a look at the next build, and it's actually another sorceress I decided to put on this particular list. It's actually the Nova Sorceress. Now this one's going to be weird because you can see right here, it's actually Max Vita. Now in my opinion, you cannot get enough plus skills in the Energy Shield and Telekinesis to have Energy Shield actually work good with super crazy mega budget gear and not at super high levels. Even if you max these out, and I just did the experiment a little bit ago because I just to see exactly what it would be, you actually only absorb 78% right here at the number of plus skills I could squeak onto this character anyways. You only absorb 78% of the damage over to your mana, and then you only have, you can see right behind me, not a lot of life. It's right here, barely over or up to 1,000. Without the points into vitality, you can see above me, you only have like 200 something health, which is almost nothing, and the Energy Shield doesn't do enough to really keep you alive that way. So in my opinion, you actually want to go max Vita and avoid the Energy Shield when you're super mega budget on the Nova, but it is actually an amazing character for doing some specific, very consistent things that can get you value at the beginning of ladder, and it's why it's one of my favorite mega budget builds. As you can see, I went maxed out Nova, its synergy of static and lighting master to get as many damage as possible. As many damage, we're going to stick with it, leaving it in the vid, and then we went 1 point into telekinesis and teleport. Of course, you got to have that. Now generally you'd be a 1-point wonder in a frozen armor. You kind of run out of places to put your points here on the Max Vita Nova Sorceress, so let's get that defense up to help keep us alive, and then go ahead and put 1-point wonder over here into warmth. But all of our remaining points, whatever we had left, we went ahead and put those into warmth too, because for the same reason, we're kind of sticking with Max Vita, running out of places to put the skill points. So we're right on the threshold of where we need to get upgrades and upgrades and upgrades on the gear, and then we just need to respec into the max energy shield Nova Sorceress. But we don't have the gear yet, and this is how you get it. No doubt, of course, you just come out here to Eldritch and Shank. Like on most characters, you can easily come out here and take stuff out, but there's going to be other places as well. First place I love to take this is charging out here to the Forgotten Tower. And notice I didn't say just the Countess, the Forgotten Tower. Because on the way down here too, go ahead and see if you can find, here's a great example, some of these Carver packs. You can find great stuff off of there. Maybe if this wasn't a mesh armor or a petrified wand, you can get yourself a lucky 4-socketed Monarch off of an incredibly easy pack to take out. There's great example right here, weapon racks. Maybe you can get an insight base. Maybe you find something along the way, an armor rack or something to get yourself a monarch, but all different kinds of stuff down here. But man, look at all the different champ packs you can take out and how easy they can be. This map's actually getting a great roll on champion packs, shockingly enough too. So take that stuff out on the way down, make sure you hit all the racks and stuff, and then once you get to the bottom, you of course have what we're looking at right here, the Countess, where she'll be dropping runes, she'll be dropping keys. I mean, even a unique, nothing we really need, but hey, you stack up these runes to get spirit rune sets, or you can get Lems, Ist, and a bunch of different mid runes like that. And I hope I mentioned keys from the Countess, but also we'll head out here to the next place, and we are out at the Arcane Sanctuary. Now, why are we heading out here, huh? Well, the thing is there's ghosts out here that have higher rune drop chances. There are these goat men that are pretty easy to take out. Watch out for the fireballs from these caster guys, though. So you can get lucky taking out these champ packs out here as well, kind of just like anywhere else. Taking out champ packs is always a great, viable option. But what you really want to look for is this one right here, the Summoner. Now, this can be dangerous. You see the build's pretty dangerous. So maybe not a great choice for hardcore. But yeah, you come out here, take out the Summoner as usual. I feel like he has terrible odds for dropping keys, but hopefully getting the second key that people need to run Ubers, so those always have trade value. And here we are, Halls of Pain, because we're heading down to our boy Neelathak, who drops the third and final key that people need for farming Ubers. Now, like I said, very dangerous, but slightly less dangerous since these things, these snakes don't instantly nuke you. Ooh, we got mited up here, devastating. Now, this is going to be a dangerous one. Don't get me wrong. But you can take out Neelathak if you can kill him fast enough and he doesn't hit you with the corpse explosion, which we got away with it right there. You can definitely farm Neelathak to get the third and final key. Great trade value at the beginning of ladder. Now, up next here, you see the Paladin, so you might be confused. Phil, didn't you say the Hammered wasn't on the list? I did not lie to you, it's not. That's because this is the Fist of the Heavens Paladin. It's got that exact same caster setup that we used on all the other casters here. You do notice though the dexterity, I bumped up some points because you want to try to get max block when you have Holy Shield up. I don't have Holy Shield up right now, but when I do, I'm going to have max block with just this many points in the dex, and that's because of what I did in the skill tree. But I will note, you probably should be able to get yourself a Paladin Spirit before now, and a Pally Spirit would be way better than this shield. You can actually get 4-socketed Pally Shields in Nightmare super easily. You can find them around, I should say. So you definitely want to slap one of those together. It's probably 4 times better than this, just a basic Spirit. We look at the skill tree, it's going to be different than how the absolute end game would be, because I would go ahead and respec once I got really good gear later. But of course, Fists of the Heavens is maxed out. Holy Bolts of Synergy, we went ahead and maxed that out for the bolt damage that comes from Fists of the Heavens. I went ahead and maxed out Holy Shield. That way we could save more points that we, instead of putting more and more into dex, so we can get more vitality. Heading over to the offensive for us, easy. I didn't put nothing here actually, even though the lightning synergy down here is Holy Shock. That only increases the lightning damage, which is only the damage that hits the one individual monster that you hit with the Holy Bolt, not all the bolts that come out. That's the magic damage. That's the 15% from Holy Bolt synergy. The other one does not synergize with those at all. And when you have this low of skills and gear and stuff like that, the lightning damage from this does not do a whole lot. Even if you do a bunch of other shenanigans with the Conviction Aura and stuff, it still isn't doing nothing. So if your budget, I would say just pass on that. I actually go max Redemption, because you're going to be getting hit all the time. Your life's going to be dropping and getting poisoned and stuff. Your life's going to be coming back out from the Redemption. Also, keeping your mana up all the time, so you can just always be blasting. And there's some key places you can use this, but one such place is out here at the Chaos Sanctuary. Of course, I'm utilizing the charge skill, just 1 point in the charge. And we have the Telestaff as well that we can go ahead and use. So we can charge right into the Chaos Sanctuary, bring our mercenary up with us, and then just start dropping bombs. So you can sit back here from safety. Unlike the Hammerden, you got to get right up in their business. Now with this build, you can get right up here, or you can stand back and blast from a distance, I should say, unlike the Hammerden. And man, the Chaos Sanctuary, this thing just absolutely rocks. You see the Redemption taking place right there, where it goes ahead and sucks up their life. Whoop, I just leave it up all the time as well. This way it's just constantly healing, bringing back your mana over and over again. There are other options. You can put up Defiance for defense. Like I said, people rock the Conviction Aura to get the lightning damage for the one monster you hit. See, I'm hitting the one monster and it's dealing just the lightning damage there. Some people rock Conviction Aura endgame with that, but I think early on, rocking the Redemption just all the time, just constantly keeping you alive, you never get ripped out. It's just too clutch, too crucial. So unless you're getting one shot, kind of all you have to worry about on this particular build. Just don't get one shot and you'll pretty much be fine. But yeah, this thing rocks in one of the best magic find areas you see here, the Chaos Sanctuary, the Arcane Sanctuary. Another sanctuary is another good spot for Fist of the Heavens Paladin, and the Pits, another great spot for this amazing, incredible, mega budget build.